it's a slightly different car review today and a really early start, but for a very good reason. I'm driving this. It's a Transit, but ta-da, it's an e-Transit. And the reason I'm test driving this today is because we've got a really important job to do. With the Hendy Foundation, we have a charity Christmas delivery to make. Plenty of room in the back. These Transits have huge capacity, so you've got 1,711 kilograms worth of weight, I think, and up to 15.1 cubic meters worth of space. So that will give us plenty of room for 36 Christmas food bags and 2 big boxes full of Christmas treats. So inside it's really weird because whenever I've driven a big vehicle like this before, the fact that it's been diesel or petrol and the kind of weight of that has been so much part of the experience of driving it, that to have the electric response, the swiftness, the smoothness, all of that stuff, the quiet, makes it a really different experience to driving a big van like this ordinarily. You've got some obvious features, the big screen, for example, similar to the one that's in my Mustang in terms of layout. Inside also, though, interestingly, is the digital rear view mirror. You know I don't normally like them. I'm not a fan. I like to see things in real time. This one surprisingly feels real in a weird way. And of course, because it's a van, it's a fantastic asset to have the camera on the back and then have your rear view mirror in the middle like it normally would be. Huge mirrors on the side. I mean, Transit is Transit, and that's why it's been so successful. They think through all of these kind of details of a big van that you need. So inside the cabin, we have actually a very comfortable scenario. We've even got a heated seat, which is rather lovely. No heated steering wheel, sadly. Most of those controls, like the heated seat and that kind of stuff, are on this screen, and this is also where you'll find the 3 different modes. So we have slippery, we have eco, and we have normal. For this journey, I'm keeping it in eco because we've got quite some way to go today between all the drop-offs. The range, I started this morning on a cold morning, fully charged with 121 miles. It can get more than that if it's a bit warm. By all accounts, it was at 140 yesterday, for example. The other nice thing is the amount of storage in this, in the cabin of the van. Obviously, we're in a van, it's got loads of storage right in the back. But in the cabin, there's tons of storage too, even under seat storage, which is really helpful. And I'm guessing most of that is standard Transit. But in terms of EV, it's a lovely, smooth drive in a really nice environment. So the e-Transit comes in 25 variations. So I'm not going to go through all those prices, but they start at around 48 grand. Of course, that's a lot of money, but there are various incentives. For businesses, you can still get a 5k grant from the government, and Ford are offering a business incentive too of an extra 3 grand reduction on the price. So between those two, you're down to 40,000. So it's not a bad option at all, especially when you consider that you're saving on fuel and you're saving on service charges long term. And another bonus is the Ford app that goes with this. If you've got employees that are taking this van out and perhaps charging at home, the app keeps track of that, so makes it easily claimable. That's a real help. And the other thing that's worth checking out as a business is the amount you'd save in congestion charges and clean air zones. And for argument's sake, if we were doing a longer day today with more drop-offs and, you know, as very often is, delivery van's day on the road, a long one, the charge rate for this is really good. So you can go from 15 to 80% in 34 minutes, about the same time as it takes to get a sandwich and a coffee and take a break from all that driving. In terms of regeneration, which is what we all love a bit of, we've got eco mode, and I'm in that eco mode, but we can also increase the regeneration of the braking by pressing the L button in the middle of the dial here. The interesting thing about this is no one seems to know what the L actually stands for.
What we try to do is donate mainly to smaller charities who are based in our actual locations of our dealerships, so our communities that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. We've got a very good relationship with Hope for Food here in Poole. We previously donated some money to them last year. We always know what our charities are doing, and we try and communicate with them every year and just see how things are going. And because of that, they came to us and said, actually, we've got some parcels that we need to deliver to some schools for children in need who might not necessarily be getting the presents at Christmas or those things that you would expect children to have. And asked us if we could provide a van, if we could provide a driver, have we got any volunteers to go to the schools and deliver these parcels. And of course we can do that. Yeah. And that's the way I see Hendy Foundation moving forwards, is actually have more help through group, not just financial help, but this kind of support. Hendy as a company has been donating to charities for many, many years. And in 2024, Hendy's actually going to be celebrating their 165th birthday. So, and
that is amazing. That's mind-blowing. 165th birthday for a company that's been in the same family for all of that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
With fifth generation?
Sixth generation
Sixth
now.
generation.
Yeah,
now.
We're now on our current round of donations, and we will have donated about £350,000 in the last 5 years. We want to be bigger each year. We want to donate more, which means we have to fundraise more. But I think one of the biggest advantages that we've got is that many people know of Hendy Group already. So we have great support from customers, without a doubt. But also we've got 1,700 colleagues who work for the business, and without them we couldn't run Hendy Foundation.
So tell me about some of those Hendy heroes, because they really are, aren't they? There are people doing extraordinary things.
They are, and I think they don't realise how important they are to Hendy Foundation. We have people who might want to run a 5k and say, oh, actually I'm going to donate that money to Hendy Foundation, through to one of our colleagues, one of our vehicle technicians, cycled from the Canadian border down the west coast of the United States all the way to Mexico. I mean, that's incredible. You know, the effort that people actually put in to support Foundation.
So Mary, tell me what's going on. It's a hive of activity in here today. Tell me a bit about the charity and what's going on today.
Well, Hope for Food is a charity which, as you can imagine, normally focuses on food. So Christmas is very much a Christmas parcel food time for the families. So what we're doing today is sorting donations, because we rely on donations to help us, and then putting them into packages which will be going out to our families. A lot of our families come through schools, where they're all referred to us through schools, and of course the schools are breaking up very soon, which is why it's a hive of activity, because we're trying to get everything off to the families before they break up next week.
And obviously today, I mean, we're here offering practical support, driving, vans, they're all very useful stuff. Yep. But Hendy support you guys quite often, don't they? And what does that support mean?
Yes, we had some incredible support from Hendy earlier on in the year, in fact. As I said, we rely on donations. And they were able to support us with some financial donations, which meant that we could go shopping for the food that we needed. At a particularly difficult time. We are blessed with donations at Christmas, as you can imagine. and January is a bit fallow. And so through January and February, the support that they could give us financially allowed us to keep going.
You're working hard. And if somebody wants to help you out, what's the best way to do it?
The best way to do it is to contact us. Please look us up on Facebook, also to look us up on the website, and you will find some email addresses there.
So April, this is the scary bit. You're right about, when you haven't driven a vehicle this big before, navigating it. However, 360 view look, that makes a huge difference reversing around school car parks, which you've got to be really careful in. This is Bethany Junior School, and who are you? I should be very respectful, I know.
I am Elizabeth Rawson-Jones and I am the pastoral lead here.
Right. So we've delivered 25 bags here today. What do they mean to you guys?
It means an awful lot. It means that they can actually have Christmas, whereas without them they wouldn't be able to have Christmas, especially at the moment with all the cost of living issues and that. Some of them are really, really struggling for food. The children might only get their meals that they have at school, and when they're home there isn't anything available, so this will actually really help them.
Yeah, it's a lot of food bags we've delivered, so hopefully they will
all be gone by this afternoon.
Fantastic. What a wonderful day. And I've really loved driving this e-transit. It's much more relaxing and actually really enjoyable. But what a great day anyway, and a really good reminder just before Christmas of how nice volunteering is and how good for the community. So a huge thank you to the Hendy Foundation for having us along to help, and Merry Christmas.